Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video. And today we have another Kickstarter. This time it's Skull Tales Full Sail, the core box set and the mega expansion, brought to you by Eclipse Editorial. And these are both the English edition. This is the second edition of Skull Tales Full Sail. A third edition will be coming out. It's on Kickstarter right now. You could always go to Kickstarter.com to check out more information about that. It's currently in process right now, so you could always pick up a copy of this if you want, or the latest and greatest version of it, which will be the third edition. If you want to check out my video for the previous edition, you could check that also on the page. So for today, I'm showing you the core box. You need the core box to play with the expansion, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And on the next video, we'll show you the mega expansion. So let's take a look at Skull Tales Full Sail, again by Eclipse Editorial, the English version. The Southern lady cuts through the waves, the water spraying your face as you stare out at the Caribbean Sea. Lost in thought, you remember the first time you came across a Spanish galleon. Few of you managed to escape that mess with your lives, but that marked the moment when you began forging your destiny as a pirate. Now your reputation precedes you wherever you go, instilling fear among your enemies. Nothing will get in your way of becoming the most infamous pirate to ever sail the high seas. Make your own destiny, become the terror of the seas in Skull Tales Full Sail. Again, this was released as a Kickstarter in 2019 by Eclipse Editorial and WA Studio, and with the help of Breed Miniatures. For more information, go to eclipseeditorial.com. And again, as I said to you, it's currently under Kickstarter right now, so the third edition will be coming out. And we're going to see what kind of changes are made from that. Now, again, as I said to you, I did Skull Tales, the first edition, Kickstarter as well, and previous videos. Go check those out if you get a moment. So this is Skull Tales Full Sail, the core box set, second edition. So right off the bat, let's take a look at the rulebook. Again, we have Welcome Aboard and the table of contents. We have our game modes. We have Campaign and Thirst for a Quick Game, Lonely Buccaneer, Solo Mode, or Chapters. And of course, shows you all the stuff that's included. Talk about the main characters. Then it shows you how to use the different cards. So you have different cards for each one of your characters. Then you also have some allies that'll be joining you on your adventure as well. Then you have some die rolls you have to do. You have critical hits, bonus limits, difficulty rolls, confronted rolls. Again, and then it tells you how to start your rolls. Now, one thing you're going to notice on all these cards that you get, you're going to have different kinds of icons on them. Of course, those icons are explained to you throughout the rule book. Then you have the adventures. You have the adventure phase. You have your components they're going to talk about here. You have all kinds of tokens that are in this game. Then you have your phase, the setup. It's going to show you how to set up the board and set up the game for your first adventure. Then, of course, you're going to talk about other things that are here, about your incident round, your characters round, the energy round. And we're going to have some combat. You're going to have some, of course, you're going to talk about line of sight, whether you're going to be using throwing weapons, whether you're going to use firearms, or you're going to be using close combat. Of course, you need to know what range means, unarmed combat, alternative attacks, receiving and giving wounds during your attack phase, throwing insults. So again, your characters are able to do a couple things during their turn. So actions, you can attack. You can reload firearms. You can insult somebody. You can take a breath. You can move. You can run. You can push someone off your tile. You can break away. You can jump. You can climb. You can explore. You can search. You can loot. You can switch equipment, pick up and drop actions, and you can revive yourself and, of course, open doors as well. All of these cost what we call action points. You can use magic. Also, we have to do enemy management as well. Generating your enemies, enemy placement, enemy behavior, enemy movement, combat, defeating them, and the special abilities that some of those characters might have that you come across during your adventure. There's also different conditions that you can fall into the category of: stunned, knocked down, poisoned, restrained, wounded, hidden, cursed, knocked out, and permanent wounds, and of course, death. You can also visit the city, the villages, have some allies, you have pirate flags, and then of course the end of the adventure phase. Of course, you can go to the voyage phase. So you have an adventure phase where you're on the island, walking around, visiting different places, and fighting all kinds of baddies. Now, of course, then you can get back on your boat and head back out to sea during the voyage phase, where once again, you will be running into some difficulties, shall we say. Then, of course, you have your components. You got your sea tiles, your pirate flags, your character tokens, your pirate group tokens, all kinds of tokens that are used in cards that go along with that. You have ship locations. And again, now this is definitely a difference between the first edition and second edition. They give you, instead of having just a sheet to keep track of things, now they give you a beautiful board here with both ships on it. Which is, to me, is actually, it's a lot nicer than what was in the previous edition. Then, of course, you talk about the different, of course, it's going to show you the different sections of the boat. You got the hold, you got the rigging, you got the forecastle, the gun wall, you have the crew quarters, the crow's nest, gun deck, the quarter deck, the helm and sick bay, and of course the quarter deck. And then of course you do the setup. Then you're going to have your voyage phase of gameplay. Time passes by. You got the crew round, you got filth, you got battle stations, fatigue, call to actions, all kinds of actions that you can do during the sea phase of your campaign. And just gives you more things here about movement of the ships, landing on an island, and your goals as being a captain of the ship, obviously. And we continue to move on. Then they give you all kinds of examples again of boarding combat, naval combat, all different things you could do during that phase of the game. Of course, you're going to have an event round where you're going to have involuntary movement or generating sea enemies. So a big crispy crab like this could come up and attack you. And of course, you have some other ships, that sea enemies, that will come along, and they will have their own board that you can keep track of the wounds that the ship incurs, or the damage that the ship incurs, and the different locations of on the ship as well. So that's also very similar to the first edition. And then we had areas of effect, escaping from enemies, destroying your enemies, moving, attacking, all the things you would do on ship as you would do as a character on the board as well. Then you have, of course, you're trying to end the voyage phase. Knocked out characters surrender if your ship sinks or there's a mutiny. All kinds of things can happen there. Of course, there's another one of those creatures coming from the sea that will be attacking you at some point in time. There's also trust and prestige that you can, points that you can accrue as well as the captain. Then you have your port phase. You go back, you get your setup. Again, you have a picture of your port right there. Game flow, actions and events, where you can go and get some additional skills for your characters, earn some salaries, get some personal booty, buy some things, all those things you could do and there's different locations on this board here, which we'll show you in a little bit. Again, different things, the upgrades you can do to your characters, the upgrades you can do to your ship as well. And then, of course, the last part is the different pirates, classes, and traits. Again, as your characters, if you're doing this as a one-shot game, cool. If you're doing it as a campaign, of course, you can always get more different types of traits that you can pick up to improve your character throughout the combat and throughout the different expeditions that you're going to be going on. Most games I play, I don't tend to do the campaign. I tend to do individual scenarios. So in this game, probably I'll be doing the same thing. But if I wanted to, it gives you the option for that. And of course, this game is for 1 to 4 players. So the reality is that there's also a solo mode to this as well. Again, then tells you about different skill sets that you can now acquire as a captain on the ship and as a player in the game. Then, of course, special thanks and your credits page of all the great people who brought you this game. Again, this is not a how-to play video, but an unboxing. And the reality is that if you have any more questions about this, you could go eclipseeditorial.com for more answers. And of course, as I said to you, and there's also an index on the back page. And like I said to you previously, This is currently in Kickstarter as well, moving on to the 3rd edition of the game. So again, we have the rule book, and we're going to put that to the side for a second. Then we have another book in here. Another book is the campaign book called Shadows of the Caribbean. Very, very cool artwork. Really dig the artwork throughout, whether it was the 1st edition or this edition here. I really, really love the overall theme of pirates, and of course love the artwork that ensues. Of course, we have Shadows of the Caribbean. Again, we have our campaign book. It just basically tells you what you need to know about it, the starting tiles, the different tokens, the blah, 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 all that stuff there. Then as we roll onto it, it's going to give you chapter 1. So this is your first adventure. Again, it's going to set up everything that you're going to need to know how to set up. It's going to tell you what tiles you need, what tokens you need, what figures you're going to need to set up. And of course, you're going to have your different charts that you're going to roll on to see what you're running into. So it gives you all that information on the charts. And of course, it gives you a little fluff here, which tells you what your campaigns or your first adventure is going to be about. So this is the secret of Captain Jones. We're looking for Captain Jones. Then the next one is Darkness Awakes. 3rd is Exile. 4th is the Alchemical Lens, the Cursed Island. We have Master Explorer, Pirates of Honor, Yamaya's Emissary, A Strange Alliance, The Last Pirate Song. We have Castaways. We have Cheating Death. And then we have some background stories. Again, it may on one of these, in one of your campaigns, or while you're running, you roll either on a die, and it leads you to a story that's located in the back. So there's some story tiles that are that you put here, and that you'll read this information that'll kind of give you some hints, or it helps throughout the campaign. So again, if I roll back here real quick, I'll give you an example of what one of these sounds like or looks like. So let's go back to number 1. So let's see what it says on number 1. Of course, I would pick one that's one of the longer ones, but that's okay. It happens sometimes. All right. Still not entirely convinced and pointing at you with his sword, Captain Alexander takes the letter and then takes a few steps back. He starts to read, but every now and then he stops to look at you. His eyes fly through the letter until his facial expression changes completely. After a tense moment, his demeanor relaxes and finally lowers his weapon. This is my brother's handwriting for sure, but all of this is crazy. Suddenly, you hear screams coming from all over the village. Amidst the sounds of agony, there is also the clashing of swords. So then you're going to read this, gain this, or do that. So I'm not going to go into anything because I don't want to ruin it. But you get the general gist. It'll tell you to come and read a passage. You'll read that. You'll make a choice. And then it'll direct you as to where to go from that point. And there's a whole heck of a lot. It starts at number 1. And it looks like it ends at number 149. So again, a lot of thought goes into all of these different conversations that happen throughout the context of the story. So there you go. Again, that's the campaign book, Shadows of the Caribbean, and we have the rule book. So I'm going to push those up here and we'll get back to those. Scoring sheets we have here. Character sheet. We have name, character, all the information you have here. Again, so what's great about this as well, even though it's the English version, it has it in both English and in Spanish, keeping true to the theme of it. So there you go. I got a nice little sheet, front and back. So we pull one off. Let's take a look at it. Front, name, character, different things, maybe different weapons that you have in your hands. Remember, if you have a sword in one hand, you have a pistol in the other hand. If you're using a musket, it's a two-handed weapon. So again, on the cards will give you that information. Again, your strength, your movement, your intelligence, and your line of sight. Inventory, allies, your skills, masters. Then you have your rumors going around and some notes. Flip that over. Same sheet on the nope. So you got your name, your captain, upgrades that you want to do. Again, if you're doing the campaign, there's your upgrade sheet for that. Then your crew booty. What did you find? You find some of this stuff here. Check it off and put it in there. Buried booty and assignment cards. That's what you're going to get on this. So that's very cool to have that as well, especially if you're going to be doing more than just one-shot games. You're going to be doing the campaign. You need to keep your records with that. Going to take this off. You also have your character cards. that off. Okay, so you get your character cards. So let's see what we got here. You can be a gunner. You can be a surgeon. You can be a voodoo shaman. You could be a sea dog, a cutthroat, a lookout, a witch, a cook, the cabin boy, captain's daughter, the freedman, the avenger, and then we have a couple of extra villains put in place here. So we're going to hold off on those so we can get back to those. So let's take a look at these. All these cards are set up identically. There's a front and back to each one of the cards. So let's take a look at the gunner. It's going to give you a point cost down here, of course, and also cost if you're going to hire them to be part of your crew. It's going to give you all your stat lines again. When you look at your stats here, go back to your core rulebook and explain all these icons, what they mean exactly. Then, of course, it has a photo of the character. It's going to tell you your skills. You have an endurance and artillery, blunderbuss, grenade, and axe. Those are his starting weapons. Now, if you flip the card over, again, it's another picture. Again, all the icons of what their special skill sets are. And then it just tells you what a grenadier is and the artillery. So there you have. And every card, again, is set up identically. So those are your main character cards. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have 12 characters here. And I could tell you from, if you go back to the original unboxing of the first edition, you'll know that that gentleman right there, and you know that this lady right here, right past her, she was the, there she is, nope, her right there. So the witch and the freedman were 2 add-on characters that you got for backing the Kickstarter. So again, here they've added them right into the original core set now. So you have 12 choices versus the 10 that were in the original game. So you have those. Now getting back to this again, we have all of the ships you're going to be fighting, and of course you have also, not to forget about, your bad guys you're going to be coming across. So again, all these cards are double-sided. So let's take a look at these real quick. You have the Dark Claw, you got the Mummy, an Officer, you have the Longshade, you have the Boot Biter, you've got the Scorpion, you got a couple other characters here that might be helping you out there. You got a Skeleton, you have a Cursed One, you have a Cannibal, you have a Redcoat, and then you have some adventure phases. All right, we'll come back to these. And of course, we have those cards as well. So it looks like you also have 2 additional people that are in here as well. So you got Noble Rebel. So it looks like as a loyal friend, they have comes with the dog. So it's an additional character there. So you have these, again, all the stat lines. You'll find those in the core rulebook. They'll explain to you all the different icons, what they all mean. And you flip that over again. It tells you what their special abilities are right there. It tells you what the starting weapons are, and gives you obviously a picture depicting that you have the main character along with their trusty sidekick, which is the war dog, which is right there. So let's go to these, which are front and back. So some of them, so when we look on one side, we have the character. Again, these are the villains we're going to be taking on, or the people that we're going to be working against. So again, they have their special abilities, the title, the picture, all their icons of all their strengths and all that stuff like that. And of course, it's going to tell you what their specialties are right there. And all the cards are set up identically that way. But when you flip the cards over, you also have who you're going to face in your sea adventure. So you have the whale. Well, you have an Ogun. Oh, so you have 2 different types for the Mummy. You have the ghost ship, which you'll be running into. The Galilean. You have the cutter. Again, that's a giant scorpion on the back of that scorpion there. Then you have the sea monster. Your island exploration card, which tells you where you're going to be going. So you're going to what island are you showing up at. And again, you have your merchant ship again. And again, when you're fighting with a ship, it's going to tell you what's happening here, what its movement is, what its actions are, all those things like that when fighting. and then you go where you're going to be putting your damage. It's all explained to you again in the core rulebook, how to track your damage. So if our ship is fighting the merchant ship, well, how is that going to happen? What are we going to do? And then, of course, you have the whirlpool as well. And then again, on the back of this one here, you have the island exploration. The giant scorpion, and then you have, so it looks like you have, yep, so it looks like the Spanish version, and you have the English version. There you go. And the same thing for our mummy as well. So there you go. That's some more cards that you get. So you have your good guy cards, and you have your villain cards. You also have these oversized cards, which are telling you you're one for each player. So that's cool. So you get, like I said, you get up to 5 players. You got 5 player aid cards. So let's take a look at these. Your adventure phase, what you can do. You can open door, you can attack, you can search, you can switch equipment, pick up, use, or drop, run, push, explore, insult, magic, move, revive, reload firearm, loot, jump, climb, break away, take a breath. Flip that over. Then you have, again, on this side, you have the void. So one side is when you're using characters on land, and then you have what you're going to be doing as a captain of the ship. Your actions on board, how to earn points, navigating, maneuvering, assisting a character, spot something at range, cartography, scheme, badmouth, clean, after repair. Actions when landing, how to earn island, find something, unable to find something, island being. Then actions during combat. So when you're doing ship-to-ship combat, all that's explained to you right there. So those are your helpful hint guides. Again, this is not a how-to play video. This is just an unboxing. So there you go. There are those as well. And last but not least, we also have 5 additional cards for this. So again, this is more relevant if you are doing your campaign mode, because again, you could visit the tavern, the chapel, market square. Where else can you visit? You can go to the mansion, go to the docks. These are all side quests, and of course, you can also purchase things while you're there. So again, it just tells you what you can purchase and what you can get. So you can listen to rumors, you can hire an ally, you can hire groups of pirates. Garrett Jensen, you got Charity, Atonement, you got Stock Up, Prothesis, Order Equipment, so that's with the market square. So things that you can get, the cost values are on the right hand side, and tells you what advantages and disadvantages they have to you. And same thing for that side. Again, you got to pay for things, that's why you're going into town. And you can do that and your crew. So, and again, you have the bands that go to support each of those, which I never keep because they always wind up ripping. So we also have, just like any other game, just like any other, you're going to have a set of dice that comes with it. You got yourself 5 red and 5 red and 5 black. These are identical to the dice that were in the first edition, which is very, very cool. So when I'm seeing this from the first edition to the second, I'm seeing just really just, of course, you get some extra baggies for your tokens and stuff like that. That's cool. You get your jewels this time. These are all your jewels that you get for the game, different gemstones. So you've got all different colors here. You got red, green, purple, and let's grab a yellow one just so you can see what they look like up close and personal. There's your red, green, purple, and yellow. Those are all your colors that you can have. So you get a baggie for all those. Now, in the previous edition, they had gelatinous cubes. Here they have actual coins. That's cool there. Upgrade. The coins are definitely 100% upgrade. You have 2 different types of coins. You have 3 different, I should say. You have your gold, silver, and bronze. These are much better looking than what the ones that were in the original game. Really, really, really cool. Really digging everything that has to do with these. These are really, really cool. Really, really upgraded compared to the previous ones. Again, if you want to check out the previous video, you can, of course. Check that out. It was actually over 2 videos because there was a lot of stuff in that. Okay, so let's continue moving on. So we have these. So we're going to have some dials on here. So you got the backs and fronts for the dials, which is very, very cool. You got ton of those, so that's always helpful. Then, of course, what would a game be without having various different sets of cards in it? So we've got some extra cards. So I'm assuming that this character here, which we saw. Now, if you remember, I said in the previous video, I said that there were 2 characters. Let me pull them out real quick. I said there were 2 characters that were extra add-ons for the original set, which was the, right here we had, nope, which was, who were they? Oh, the Freedman and the Witch. So it appears to me that one of the new characters that they're also adding in here as an extra, just by looking at the cards here, is, again, Ember and Anne the Duchess, and an extra card just for those 2 characters. So you got a Buried Scorpion and a Guardian of the Temple. So again, these were extra cards that would go along with that character right there. So I'm going to pull her to the side and kind of put her by herself there. So that's a little add-on right there, a little extra. Because obviously they are not shrink wrapped. Her, the dog, sorry about that. Her and the dog. Lift the dog behind, and those couple extra cards there. So that's an extra add-on right there. As you guys know, whenever you get a Kickstarter, they always add a couple of extra things in for your purchasing. And obviously, they charge you for it, but again, at the same time, you get a whole bunch of stuff with those as well. But, you know, as the dollar value that people are spending on it goes up, the more extras you get. So that's an extra character that they have here. So that's okay. And that's without even looking at what's in the expansion box, the mega expansion. It's without even looking at that. So again, you have your player cards as well there, your dice, that, and your coin. So again, we have a bunch of sets of different cards. We have 2 decks of mini cards and 2 large scale cards. Now again, I'm not going to read everything that's on all these cards, but we'll take a look through them to see what they are all about. Again, as you know, I always cut the decks open off camera, never on camera. So let's start with the big decks this time versus the mini decks, because the big decks sometimes take a little bit longer than the mini decks. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, so those are the same. So I'll see stuff happening on the sea. I got some kisses. Maybe there's a love story in this. You don't know. Okay, got some crosses. This may be starting decks for characters. That's what this may be. Now that's quite possible. Not quite sure, but we're going to find out. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards. Let's take a look at these cards first. So we'll start off with our, so it looks like the Libra sign there, the scales of justice. So let's flip this over. It says, pay your debt. All right, so it looks like these may not be that. Helpless, and this says show. Okay, so let's just take a look at the top. It says pay your debts, trinket shop. It says tattoo shop, hair salon, tailor shop, blacksmith, jewelry shop, helpless, a show, and straw hat. So maybe these might be the different locations which we have here. Yep, it is. So let's look at that right now. So you got Market Square, Chapel, Tavern. Flip it over here. You got the mansion and you got the dock. So each one of these are card decks for each one of these different areas that you are going to go and visit during the campaign or whenever you wind up at them. So again, it's choices you're going to have to make. If you have the debtor condition, if you don't have the debtor condition, and there is another pirate ahead of you in the track who does. So again, I'm not going to read through these because I don't want to ruin any of the details to the story, but that's going to be your deck for, again, that's going to be your deck for, this is going to be for the market. And then we have one for the docks. Pirate's Life is for me, and here's stuff that's going to be happening at Pay Your Debt. Again, it says Smallpox Outbreak, Enormous Fin. It says The Holy See, A Fight Against Piracy, Crown Debts, The Lost Little Man, Marauder, Spies, Attack on the Brotherhood, Good News, Catch of the Day, Longshoreman, The Fisherman's Tune, Master Sailmaster, Wood Trouble, The Landing Ceremony, Attack on Tortuga, Hurricane, Beggars, Seagulls, Nautical Charts, Unavoidable Duty, Reconstruction, Grief Over Sugar, Call Me Ismail, and Youth Pastor, The Fort of Tortuga, Distinguished Guests, and Fencing Practice. So let's look at one of those at random. We'll pull that one up. Wood Trouble. From a nearby dock, you notice a bunch of sailors cleaning their ship and changing the wooden planks that have been eaten away by shipworm. One of the sailors suffers an accident, and his colleague quickly take him to a surgeon for care. So here's your options that you have there. So that just gives you an example of what it is down by the docks. All right, so we got the docks, we got the market square. We're going to go with the tavern next. Again, the tavern. So you go visit the tavern. You can pay your debt. You can hangover, a story, informer, a sea shanty, a tavern trouble, knife game, fin, liver of steel, shooting contest, a nice new drink, the sign, annoying patron, a banquet, brawl, stalker, gambling, disgruntled crew, bullies, a lesson, throwing up, herbs, hunting day, sorry, not haunting, but hunting day, and Fight Club, and the drunk colleague. So let's just see what Fight Club's all about. So, give you an example of the cards. Again, all the cards are set up the same way. Fight Club. In a nearby alley, a group of pirates is fighting without weapons. It looks like Jensen has defeated his last opponent and now thinks he can be anyone who dares him. So if you step up, these are the things you're going to do. So I don't want to read all that, but that's you can do. So again, that's the tavern. Then we have, if we flip this over, we could take a look at this. We have, let's take a look at the chapel real quick. Before I switch it over, then we go to the mansion. So let's look at the chapel. That's the chapel cards. Pay your debt. Ogun's Elixir. Danabella's Elixir. Chango's Elixir. Ligba's Elixir. Centerism. Grave robbing. A friend's funeral. Burial. Confession. The sick. A fortune teller. The wedding. Cave-in. In Corpo Sand, Material Bonds, Chancel, sorry about that, Mensana, Procession, Adoption, Life Change, Blood Sacrifice, The Busybody, and Unexpected Allies. Let's take a look at Blood Sacrifice. Again, all the cards have that logo on it, and they all have story to tell on the back of it. You got the story, and then it tells you what you're going to do. So again, title up top, down it goes. It says, you hear that the witch Marie Laveau is more than willing to help those that can withstand extreme physical punishment. So if you want to do this, you do this or you do that. These are your options that they give you on the cards. So that is how you're going to roll with the, again, this one here, which is the chapel. Last but not least, we have the mansion again. Oh, we got another chapel one over here. See, the chapel one is the legacy. Okay. So again, all the same. Flip it over. So we got the settling debts, a love letter, bad for business, letter to the captain, eavesdropping, Alexandra Aquamelon, yep. Bragging, the duel, Nelson the parrot, stolen jewels. We have teaching, the merchant, culinary contest, an exquisite wine, jealousy, the madam's eyes, the captain's head, dreams and aspirations, a tormented man, and a swindle. Let's take a look at a tormented man, just by random. So there again, all the cards have this front to it. Then all of a sudden the title's on the top and gives you what you're going to do and then the choices you're going to make down here. It says, you sit close to a man that looks particularly depressed. He cries, poor me, I'm haunted by a curse. You may convince him that curses are nonsense. You have the Mystic trait. You can sing a protection psalm for him. So that tells you the different things that you make choices when you go into these things. Again, this is when you're visiting the different locations. Again, the locations are on the card here, and it's a helpful hint guide. You got the tavern, the chapel, the market square, again, the mansion, and the dock. And all the cards have the icons on top of them. Then we get to go on to our next deck. Pirate's Life is for me. All right. So we got, looks like we're setting sails here. And there tends to be a lot of these cards here. Oh, so that ends that row there. And then we got some pirate. All right, got some pirate cards. And then we got some of these cards. Oh, we got some more of these cards. Again, these are more of the market square. Some more market square cards. So we can put those in there. Again, these are Sales, Runaway Slaves, Battle of Insults, Affront, Petty Thief, Fallen Colleagues, The Gallows, Tropical Storm, Low Supplies, Times of Scarcity. You have Blanket Pardon. You have Mosquitoes. You have Fresh Fruit, Eye for an Eye, New God. So again, that's more stuff that you can get over here at the market square. So put those back under there. So let's take a look at this one here. Not quite sure what this one represents, so let's turn around. Looks like some sort of masquerade. Maybe at the masquerade ball. Be like Jonas, only the best. An act of faith, the blacksmith's son. Now it's personal, exotic flavors, map charting, land of pirates, dangerous debts, St. Lazarus ordeal, heart's desires, God's servants, the hunter, rebellion, broken chains, disciples of steel, lost civilizations, old grudges, and purge evil. So let's take a look at one of these at random. Let's see what this is all about. It says, Heart's Desires. You find yourself thinking about the same person constantly. At the beginning of the next adventure, choose how to impress your beloved. Finish the adventure successfully with 30 silver or 30 of these points here. Gain 10 points and recover your blank on your next adventure. If you do not fulfill this task, or you take a different rumor, lose 10 of those points. All right, that's how those cards work out. Again, I'm not sure where this is for. See, I don't see anything here. Not the Tavern Chapel, that one, this one, that one. Nope, not sure what it's for. So I'm just going to put that on top of here. And then we also can't forget about these that have, looks like some sort of note there, a coin, and of course the Union Jack there. Not the Union Jack, but the skull and crossbones right there. So let's see what this says here. Attack on the plantations, buried treasure, sea vultures, a good salvage, the white whale, the privateer, distinguished passenger, the Flying Dutchman, illegal distillery, liberators, the haunt of the Titan, and Yamaya's offering. So let's take one of these at random. And see what, again, they're all set up identically the same way. The privateer. A group of merchants has hired a privateer to keep you away from the waters surrounding Port Royal. We're confident that a great pirate such as yourself will take care of him. Place the cutter on Island E. When inactive, it moves one space towards the pirate ship. Sink or capture the cutter. Again, you're going to gain 10 experience points. If the cutter is not sunk or captured, you're going to lose 10 experience points. So once you take on these again, you've got to complete them. So these are like, it looks like to me, all side quests. And then we have this huge, huge, huge stack of cards. Not that huge, but big enough. We've got here. So let's, again, we're going to turn these over. Again, I'm not going to read all of them. I'll give you a sampling of them. So we have Dead Calm, Scorching Heat, Stone Crab, Sick Captain, School of Fish, Serious Disease, Mild Disease, Mirage, Freezing, Galeon, Cutter, Tribal Warriors, Fire in the Hold, Heavy Rain, The Ship's Pet, sea monster, shipwreck survivors, merchant ship, frog, giant wave, indomitable swell, patron saint of pirates, brawl, nightmares, stowaways, wet powder, rats on board, whirlpools, wreckage, seaweed, mermaids, night terrors, storm, watchtower, traders on board, gloomy crew, waterspout, rip sail, tailwind, underwater volcano, rock, pirate hunter, trading post, rotten wood, news from home, St. Elmo's lanterns, broken helm, wrong charts, ship graveyard, sea current, fearsome seagulls, sea convoy, fatal breakdown, sea abominations, shark infested waters. Take a look at that one. Downpour, Royal Navy, reefs, whale, sandbank, ghost ship, spirals adrift, map in a bottle, and sea breeze. Of course, this is everything you're going to be dealing with when you're on your sea voyage. So that's honestly what that's all about. Let's put that down here. We're going to move this up. So I'll give you an example one. Shark infested waters. Sharks are known to frequent these waters, and the crew starts to grow restless. Lose 3 morale. If there is someone on the quarterdeck, they may attempt a 5 roll. Do not lose morale, gain 2. Spend 1 rum token or lose 1d6 points and 2 of those. So again, all these icons, again, that's explained to you in the core rulebook. So again, that's your other set of cards. So as you can tell, you get a large stack of large cards. And then we're also going to add in some of our mini cards. So we have all different kinds of mini cards in this game. We got those green ones. Looks like these are individual cards for individual characters. Right off the back. Here, see, there's a clause over there. A lot of these claws, I gotta tell you. Then we have that. We have a lot of these as well. Okay, because we're going to add more of those into this pile as well. So pull those out. Might as well add those to the mix since we're going through all of our mini cards. So we're going to have some more of those, which has like a scroll on it. A lot of those. And then we have ones that look like this. Lots and lots of these. I'm going to assume, as they say about assuming, but I'm going to assume these are the weapon cards. All right. Yep. Okay. So right off the bat, you're going to have starting cards for certain individual, and right up there, it'll tell you if it's a starting card, which is really cool. Again, so just different, again, these icons will explain to you how you're going to do it, whether it's a single-handed weapon or a double-handed weapon, what the range is, and what the wound is going to cause. All that stuff's explained to you in the rule book. All right, so you got harpoon, you got bandolier, smoke bombs, hand cannons, staff. Again, character on there, who it belongs to. You've got blowguns, you got a cobra, kitchen knife, daggers, triple bladed dagger, swords. You got grappling hooks, tampered hook, grenades, an axe, a retractable blade, a whip, a parrot, a broom, a monkey, musket. Again, starting equipment for certain characters. You have your musket. Again, musket is a two-handed weapon, tells you right there, and can have up to 5 shots on it. Okay, shovels, tempered peg leg, pistola. You have a double pistol. You have a concealed pistol. You have a rag chicken, a net, some rum. You got the frying pan, cook, and of course you got the blunderbuss, which has this guy as his start. You can shoot adjacent enemies. There you have it. Those are your some of those are your starting weapons and weapons that you can find or purchase when around town. Now we have this small little deck that looks like this. These are her spells. Yes, so this, again, this was a character who was an add-on in the original game. Now they're adding her in, and she had 8 cards. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep, 8 cards. She had 8 spells, and these are the spells that she can cast. And this is the only character that has the spells, so that's kind of cool too. So she's got Eagle Totem, she's got Eagle's Flight, Snake Totem, Shed Skin, Wolf Totem, the Wolf's Hunt, Bear Totem, Sweeping Strike. So let's see what that says. Make a single attack, hand-to-hand attack with 4 dice against all adjacent enemies. Again, the icons up top here, 3 and 2. You have to look that up to what those all mean. Not quite sure. All the 3s on the previous edition's cards were down on the right-hand side, and I didn't know what they meant there, and I still don't know what they mean here, so we're going to have to look that up. So that's the spells for her. And probably these are going to be very similar in nature to the Witch Doctor. Yep. Deadly Dream, Clairvoyance, Luck of the Devil, Terror, Voodoo Doll, In the Shadows, Mantle of Darkness, Essence of Life, and Zombie. And these are the exact same cards that were in the first edition for this character. So we got the Voodoo Doll. Again, we don't know what the 0 stands for. We got the 1 up there. Probably takes 1 action to do this. If you are adjacent to a fallen enemy token, human, you can summon a Zaman. So you can make a dead guy rise. Those are for that gentleman right there. Okay, so now we've got plenty of cards here as well. So we've got Ambush 1, Ambush 2, Collapse, Don't Waste Time. We got Stalked, Bats, the Darkness, Underground Hell, The Beast, Tremors, Wild Animal, Trap, Landslide, Cannibals, Firebug, Old Jimmy Gums, Back to Back, Cave In, Skeletons, Trap, Poisonous Gas, The Living Dead, The Marksman, The Petty Thief, Revenge of Montezuma, Ambush 3, The Fangs of Death, Will of the Wisp, The Rat King, Bad Luck, Tropical Fever, The Dead Don't Rest, and Cramp. So let's take a quick look at a couple of these. Okay, we've got Firebug. The strange bite from an insect leaves you dazed and disoriented. Choose a random character on an island tile. They must make a strength 3 roll. Nothing happens. This turn, each of your movement actions cost double. Skip this turn. There you go. So it's a negative thing here. Okay, so let's pull one more just to get an idea what these are about. The Beast. You hear the distinct sound of rocks crashing. Choose a random character on a cave tile. Place a dark claw adjacent to them. It attacks immediately. So some animal. Okay. All right, so these are event cards. And then we have these cards. Coin Purse. Mermaid Meat. Yep. Rope. Ambush. Precious Gemstone. Idol of Fortune. Brew. Looks like a Jewel. Time Flies. Rum. Snake. Tarantula. Spider Trap. Net Trap. So when you're on the island, these are the cards you're going to be using on the island. Old map of things that you find. So when you find a crate or whatever, you pop it open, one of these things will be in there. Hellish Vision, Cursed Medallion, Urzul's Flower, Waranara Seeds, Three-Headed Idol, Mayan Coins, Exotic Fruits, Yamaya's Charm, Columbus's Compass, Twin Swords, Davy Jones's Pistol, Drake's Hat, Elixir of Youth, Food, Abandoned Weapons, Coin Purse. Again, lots of coin purses. I'll put the coin purse up front with the rest of the coin purse. So again, just show you randomly at these cards. So Coin Purse. If you have this card at the end of the adventure, gain 2d6 coins in coins. So let's just grab another one. Urzul's Flower. Use discard this card to repeat one of your rolls. Okay. Let's pull another card. Cursed Medallion. Use. When you wear it, you get immediately cursed. Roll 1d6 and gain until the end of the adventure one of those things. +1 to this, +1 to that, +1 to this, 1 to 2, +1 of those. You have to roll a die to see which one you get. So these are banes and boons, basically. So those are all of your decks of cards. Then you have your tiles. You have your large tiles and so you have your big tiles. So that's a difference here, is that we have large tiles, no small tiles in this one. So let's up, yep, and they all again have to get punched out. So these are all unpunched. So here's your first tile that we have here. Really, really cool. So as you see, it's popping off right away. Toss that over there. So again, one side is going to be, whoop, just fix these cards because I don't want to keep knocking those over. Sorry about that. I don't want to keep knocking them over. I'm just going to raise it just a little bit so we can see it a little better. There we go. We got our tile. That's your front. So one side is like the island, or when you're visiting a different town, and you got that right there. And on the flip side, you have your islands. And on your islands, it'll give you letters, W, M, L, J, K. So there's your water tiles. Okay, then we got this guy here. And this is island. These are letters A, C, B, and N. And then you got that side. So it appears a lot of these things are together. So I'm just pulling them out as we go along. They're falling out as we're speaking. So there's, again, the city tile. And then you have letters D, I, H, G, F, and E. Again, when you're setting up your tiles, the scenario book will show you how to do that. We also have a group of punch outs, which I just came across here. So these are the different punch outs that you can use or will need to use in your adventure. Here's the dials we were talking about before. Again, you have to punch those out and create the dials. Got a book there. Got another dial here for something. And looks like those look like some of the characters that you will be either fighting or some of the main characters that you will be. So there you go, and flip that over. Okay, not much on the back. So again, these are your crates. Open crates and a closed crate, and your different sailing ships while you're at sea that you may encounter. So that's your counter sheet, which is very cool as well. Again, punch one out. It is very, very thick cardboard, and it punches back in just as easy as it came out. Goes right back in just as easy as you see there. So it's showing that it is high quality. So you got that token sheet there. And we have another tile. They're just popping out as we're walking here, so I'm just taking them off as we go through this. So the tiles are very similar. They are more brilliant, and they're just better quality than the last ones that were in the first edition of the game. Same exact tiles, but again, they're just the colors are just pop a lot more. They're a little darker tone. Now they've got a nice bright tone here. Okay, and we do have our small. So again, they pop right out, but these are your smaller tiles. So these tiles over here, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be the same size as they were last time. They're 10 by 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are 10 by 10s. And then we have these, which are 5 by 5s. And then you flip it to the other side. Yes. Put that there. So we have some more in the jungles. Again, I've watched a couple videos on this game. It looks like it's quite a fun game. So this is, again, if you're doing it as a campaign, there's a lot of record keeping. But if you're doing it as one shots like I normally do, it should be just a really, really fun game to play. And that's kind of what I'm looking for at this point. All There we go. Got some more of these tiles. Again, they are the 1 tile. They are the 5x5s. And again, the back tiles, these tiles have been upgraded as well compared to the last ones. Again, they had the same thickness, but the colors just seem to pop a lot better on these new tiles than on the last ones. These are very, very cool though. Very, very nice tiles. Extremely cool tiles. Oop, oop, oop. They're falling out as I'm sitting here. But again, these are 5x5s. And again, oop, boop. There's where your starting point is going to be when you come off a raft and you go onto an island. There's your starting point. And that's cool. You have your ship record keeping right here. Again, when you're doing combat, keeping track of parts of the ship that are being attacked. Again, we have some more things here. Some more tokens on the bottom of it. Not sure what these are used for, but we'll put them right back in. Nice quality. Let's flip those over and see what it says. Up, and there's your again, when you're visiting the town, dock your ship here. You're going to go out. Again, remember the cards that we just looked at, all those 5 different sets of cards, which are right here. All those cards you're going to utilize when you go into the city itself. So you pick a card, this is what happens here. You pick a card here, this is what happens. And in between here, I don't know what those indicate or what they mean, but you're going to have to look that up again in the regular rule book. So there's that. And then you have different, these look like the numbers that are on the tile. So I'm not exactly sure what these tokens are used for, but we seem to have a bunch of them. So that's really cool. Oh, maybe it's markers for in here. Not quite sure. But this goes from number 1 down here to 20. It seems that the color changes as you go around the map as well. It's got these little time tokens. So I'm not sure maybe how many rounds you have to spend there. Not quite sure. We're going to have to find that out and read that up in the rules, because that's definitely different than what was in the first edition of the game. And then we have this as well, which is looks like on the island. Another time tracker. Very, very cool. Again, has all those on here again. Not sure what that means. So, and there's your ships, and again, that's going to track where your damage is. So if they're firing, what part of the ship is it hitting? The mast? Is it hitting the hull of the ship? Where is it hitting? So again, it's marking all that damage that you're accruing during your fighting. And again, you got some more maps here. It looks like different maps that you can get. That's that one again. That's very, very cool. So you got 3 of those boards. You got oh, that's for the your ship lands. So I see how you're doing this. This is for when you visit the temple. So there's 3 areas you're going to do: the town, the temple, and you're going to have the town, the temple, and the jungle. So it depends on which one. So it's probably timing you for your events while you're on the island. So that's cool too. Time tracker. Cool. So you don't spend too much time in any one area, I'm assuming. And we got some more punch outs. Got some blood, got some drinks, got some rum. You got some death's head there. You got some axes, got some bombs. You got some books here again. Some more punch outs where you're gonna have to create some dials. Yep, all kinds of cool stuff there. Got some crates again. Flip that over. Ooh, we got some mysterious people here. Again, in your campaign book, it'll tell you which tokens you're going to use at what point in time. All that information will be given to you. And then we have the daily log book here as well that they talked about. Ship's captain log. There it is right there. Again, we have some more of our standees if you want to use those, or you can use the figures. So it's up to you how you want to use the characters. You got that. You got this and this. Just looking through some of the stuff here. Got some cool coins. In the back, again, you got your chests. Again, I'm not sure what these are exactly, so we're going to have to find that out. This guy was popped out. But again, those are your core. Those are your core characters that you can choose from. So there should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 14. Sorry, 14 characters you have there. It also includes, is she in there? lady with the, what was she wearing? So I'll look over there real quick. What was she wearing? Nope, don't see her. Okay, so there you go. I was looking for the extra character that was added in there. And we got one more sheet of tokens. Let me pull those out. Last but not least, our end of our tokens, which are right here. More blood drop, more alcohol, more of those, more of the axes, more of these. Some bombs. Not sure what those are, but food, different things you're going to find. And there you have it. So we've got our boards, we've got our tokens, we've got our rule book, we've got our punch outs, we've got our dials up there, which we got our pieces for the dials, we got our decks of cards that we need to when we go on the island or we go in the sea. We stop at different locations, our challenge cards, and we have our skill cards down here. Got some of these skill cards here as well. We have some weapon cards. We have spell cards for two of the different characters. This is here again challenges that we have that you may fight on the island, and then we have some additional here that you find in the jungles. So again, each deck of cards is going to be individual to that's going to set up for you in there. Then we can also put the coins up here. Again, you get those jewels there as well. You get those dice, and of course some baggies to put your tokens in as well. So far, if that was not enough, we also have a box of miniatures that came. So let's take a look at these miniatures. Now, in the first edition of the game, we had a really cool figures, but they were a little bit bent up because of the way they were packaged. So they were a little bit bent, and that was a little bit disappointing, but the characters were pretty much, I want to say they were pretty much 20 millimeter in size. We also get a cool dice bag for this game. This is a much nicer bag than what was in the previous edition as well. So that's really, really cool dice bag. So I'll put that over here also. So let's take a look at some of our characters. Again, the light gray characters are our main, our main heroes. So let's put some of our main heroes down here. So I'll pull them out first because we have a ton of them. Now, again, the other ones were smaller. These are true 28 millimeter figures, and they are also, I just want to simply say, they feel like they're resin. They're not necessarily plastic. So they do feel a little bit different, but they are really, really well constructed, I must say. Looking really, really cool. Again, I might feel it has that resin feel to it. But they're very, very cool. Again, in the light gray, these are all of your heroes, or I don't know if they're heroes, but the pirate crew that you're gonna put together. Again, there's that dog that we were talking about before, her companion. We have the witch who has all the spells. Let's see if we can find that guy. And then we had the voodoo guy who has all kinds of spells as well. Really cool. We got this guy with the double axes. Now I'm going to say right off the bat, these are much better quality figures than what were in the previous edition of them. Again, they're the true 28 millimeter, which is great because whether you want to use them in this game or you want to use them for another kind of non-agnostic pirate game, that maybe an Osprey game or something like that, you can use them for that as well. So this is very, very cool. Set your guys on an adventure. Guy looks like he's stumbling around a little bit. That's okay. Got yourself another captain here. That's the cook. He's got the parrot on his shoulder and he's got the axe in his hands. Like, what's for dinner tonight? Not my parrot. All right. And then we got a lady here with two different swords, which is always good to see. Again, I play games, a lot of games with my children. So the reality is when they're playing those games, And that's the Freeman. He always has his harpoon with him. That's awesome. So again, it's always good to have games where they're playing on their using their female characters. They do enjoy that thoroughly when they have those. So this gives you a lot of options of female characters, which so the kids are really going to love this game. So we also have some of these cool crabs. Uh-oh, looks like one of them lost an arm. Yep. Again, resin, they break kind of easily. So I'm going to have to find the arm and put the arm back on. So there's one here. Put him down there as well. I didn't see that. Oh, there's his arm right there. So the arm popped off. I could just glue that back on. And then we have a couple of these creatures as well. Just one of the, I think that's the boot biter. I think those are the boot biters. Those are guys underwater that are grabbing the guys. You have your Hydra, which has 3 heads to it. We got a bunch of those. It looks like you got 3 of those. And you got 4 of the boot biters. Oh, we got another character that's one of our main characters. Another female character. That's great. My kids, because I have 2 girls, they love to play girls in the different versions of any game. They always enjoy having different girls to choose from. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, again, these guys were just laying in a box, so a couple of them did break on impact, which is disappointing, but I think we can salvage some of them as we're going here. So we definitely have some archers. We got a bunch of these archers, like that. Yeah, these are definitely resin figures because they're lighter, they're not as strong. Got another archer. So we have some skeleton warriors also. So again, so these are larger figures, but in the last, another archer, put him over there. In the last group, we did not have any broken figures. So in this one here, we have a couple broken figures, which I'll take care of them. I'll fix them up. I'll fix them up, not a big deal, but at the same time, it can be a little disheartening when you do spend a lot of money. So I'm hoping, right off the bat, and I've always said this, I'm hoping that in the next edition that's coming out, because I did back it, I'm hoping that they do not use resin figures, because the reality is if they're breaking here, they may break somewhere else. And then you have some guards. You have British soldiers. You get a bunch of those. Try to put them all up on the dice up there. You have some ape warriors. A couple of those guys. Got another skeleton, got another ape warrior, put him up there. Got another ape warrior, put him over there. You have what looks like to be a zombie. Again, the camera's pulsating a little bit there, so I apologize for that. Not much I can do. So we got this guy here. Put him over there. Got a couple more apes for you. Got an ape that's broken, so you got to repair him. Looks like one of the captains broke. Again, that's one of the captains for the army here. A couple more soldiers. They all look good. Another skeleton. And a couple more of those guys. Take the zombie, put him down here somewhere. I'll put him over here. and 1 additional zombie. And that's the box that they came in. Again, there was no protection for them. So again, my hope is that having the first edition, where their characters were smaller, so I'm just going to widen this out here just a little bit more so we can see everything that's here. So again, you wind up getting yourself a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skeletons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowmen. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 Hydra. You get 2 of the large crab creatures. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the ape characters. You get 1 British captain who is broken, but we could fix him. We have 2 zombies. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riflemen. And then you have the 1, 2, 3, 4 of the, what are they called? The boot biters. That's what they're called, the boot biters. So this is everything that's included. And this concludes our unboxing of the Kickstarter Skull Tales Full Sail, brought to you by Eclipse Editorial. And this is the English version. Of course, the game, it takes it's at close to 120 minutes to play the full game. It's for up to 5 players. And again, for more information, go to eclipseeditorial.com. Again, thanks to Eclipse Editorial, WA Studios, and Breed Miniatures for bringing and releasing such a great game. Again, there's a third edition of this game that is coming out that you can check out. It's on Kickstarter right now. And as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.